Hello, beautiful people and fellow whiners, and welcome to another episode of A Little Something to Whine About with your hosts, Siobhan Camille
and Tae Michelle,
where we whine, WINE, about life, love, relationships, and more, because sometimes you just need to whine a little. And as you can see today, we brought more guys to the table. It's guys month. It's guys month because this been guys. It's been guys this month.
Okay.
They here to say. They got things to say. We're ready to listen.
I'm here to listen. Let's go.
We are. So today we will be talking about motherhood. It's Motherhood Diaries, and we brought in men folk because every time you look on social media, they talking about somebody's son. Well, we brought in somebody's sons. So that's what's happening. So grab a glass of your favorite red, white, or rosé and join us on the couch.
On the couch, on the chair, on the floor, just not in the car while you're driving. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, please don't drink and drive. We will not be held responsible for your irresponsibleness.
Irresponsibility?
Yeah, I think so. I thought that, but I figured I was using it wrong. So I was like, just go for the ratchet. Irresponsibleness. Mm-hmm. And that's where I landed. So, yes, irresponsibility. Thank you, Siobhan, again. As always. And I love it. So don't take that as shade for those listening. Welcome, everybody. It's been another 7 days since we've talked to you last. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful week. As she said, we're whining about we're letting the sons tell us about their wonderful relationships with their mothers. Quote unquote, we're talking about mama's boys. And I put the quotations up because, like we talked about daddy's girls in the last episode that you can see on YouTube at A Little Something to Whine About in the search bar. Make sure you look at that and subscribe. We decided to flip the script. Let's talk to these sons about their relationships with their mothers. But of course, before we start that, Siobhan, let us know what you're whining on today.
Well, before I let everybody know we're whining, we're going to let the guys introduce themselves.
Well, I was going to do the whines and then introduce them, but fine.
I mean, let us know who you are. We've been talking about you. I feel like you should at least say your name,
Oh, yeah, true.
You want me to go first?
I don't mind.
All right, I'm Aaron.
Oh, okay.
That's the most concise introduction we've ever had.
Simplest. Point blank.
All right. Well,
and our other guest.
I'm Ariane from Charlotte, North Carolina, originally from upstate New York, Syracuse.
Okay, I think he's gonna do like
your lovely host for some years now.
Oh, he gonna do like my brother because we all grew up together. No, well, the thing is, so the last episode we had Shaitan on, and he gave a whole dating app profile.
Yeah, he was tendering. Okay,
so he went. I'm Sal Money, aka Shaitan.
He didn't do all that. He did the grown and sexy version.
Yeah, I know my brother.
Like, I'm single, ready to mingle out in these streets.
Yeah. No, that's my brother. That's one thing, no other way. Now I'm the dialed down version of that. Like I said, Ariane Mims from Syracuse, New York. Currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've known this lovely young lady, your host here, Siobhan, since middle school. I've seen the woman that she's become, and it's been a beautiful journey with her. She's always kept it real with me. I always kept it real with her, and love this lady to the death. Always.
Oh, they throwing up little signs and stuff. Aaron, we don't have no things.
Yeah, I know, right? Hey, look though, we can be like little Care Bears. So you know what I'm saying? We can just
Care Bear stare. You don't know.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
So Siobhan, tell us what you're whining on.
So I am bringing a Prosecco by Josh. That is literally the name of the company is Josh.
I know, I've had a Josh.
That sounds real bad, doesn't it? I've had a Josh and a Jim and a Tony.
I was going to ask, but I was like, I'll just leave it alone.
No, it is Josh, a Prosecco by Josh. I had something else of theirs when I was in the mountains in July, and I really liked it. And I was just, when I was in the store, I was grabbing stuff. And I actually bought this to do mimosas because we ran out of champagne. And I was like, let me try Prosecco because my sister did Prosecco with, mixed it up instead for a while ago. Like y'all had to go in the archives to grab that one. So I'm not drinking it with a mix. I'm just try it straight, see how it goes. But I do have a Prosecco. There is something on the back of this bottle because that's how my bottles live. So that's what I'm bringing.
So, okay, it's something on the back of mine too. I'm not gonna read it, but it's something on the back. That's the whole thing. Sorry, guys. I am drinking. What I have decided to do is go through the full line, like we did the Voga. I decided to go through the full line of the Menage a Trois brand, and I grabbed the Menage a Trois Gold Chardonnay. Yep, these lights is bright here. There you go, boom. So, for those who don't know, Chardonnay is my mommy drink. When the kids are getting on my nerves, I need a nice stiff Chardonnay. So we're gonna see if this one holds up to my standard of what I expect from a Chardonnay. And yes, this is a popping grapes for me because I have never had this one. Thank you. So, fellas, tell us. Let's talk about you and your mommies. Ew. I always get excited because I have a son, my OGK, and I would like to think that he talks about me and smiles and gets like happy thinking about his mother. So just talking to guys and about their moms kind of has a special place in my heart. So first of all, would you consider yourself a quote unquote mama's boy?
Yes.
Not quite.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I accept it. You know what I'm saying? It's who I am. I have no qualms about it, no equivocations. Yes, I am a mom's boy, or I still call my mom mommy. So, yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he does. It's I remember the first time I heard this man say that, "Mommy." I turned around like, is that Stewie? Mom.
True story.
Mommy. I was like, oh, okay. That was different. And what about you? Do you consider yourself a mom?
Like I said, not quite. Like I said, I always had a pretty good relationship with my mother, but I guess the woman that be the closest to my heart would be my grandmother. That's mom. That's mommy.
Don't get okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody, that's why we're talking to you all, because everybody's stories about mothers and motherhood and who they see as a mother figure to them is different. So coming from someone who was raised by their grandmother, tell us, how do you think that shaped you as an adult man?
Oh, like I said, it's like I said, my upbringing was with both. So like during the week, it's always it's mom, dad in the house, and it's the hustle and bustle. But then on the weekends, suitcase was already packed up, little overnight bags packed up, and ready to go to grandma's house. It's time to get spoiled. Walk in the house, got that good old banana pudding sitting on the counter already ready for me. Got all my little snacks, all my little treats. Go hop in the pool. But my grandmother and my mother have always been very important figures in my life. Like I said, because we're talking about mothers, I want to focus on my mom. So I don't want to get it twisted. Like I said, me and my mother had a very good relationship until maybe like the last couple of years. That's why I won't quite say mama's boy type of thing. But all in all, like I said, really good relationship. Always there, always providing, always under like any question I've had or the little stuff that always frightened me. She actually sent me a video a couple of days ago, something that it was like used to be on The Price is Right. And it used to bother me a whole lot when I was younger. It's just the sound of it. And so she sent the video of it, and I used to take off when I was younger. I used to remember that all the time. And then I used to take off and jump right in her arms. She's like, "It's okay, Daddy. It's just, you ain't comfortable with the noise, but you be all right. It's all right. You'll get through it." But like I said, I love my mother. She was always there. Like I said, always great advice. Never really steered me wrong. Like I said, just as of the last couple of years, since our relationship kind of grown apart a little bit. Not due to some other situations, but all in all, I can never say anything truly horrible, anything bad about my mother.
Absolutely. Yeah. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job, Aaron.
Wow. All right. So
don't cry.
First up, yeah, you know it's probably gonna come. I'm gonna need to know what that sound was from Price is Right, because as a kid, I used to watch that. So later on, we'll talk about what that sound was, because I'm interested, because it can only be like one or two things. But
yeah, I'm sure you're going to say the same one too.
Okay, we're going to talk. My mother. So I'm already getting overwhelmed. I don't know what else. I don't know what to say about her outside of the fact that oh, hold up. That's my little eating alarm. Hold up. Hold up. Oh. Am I back? Can you see me? Am I back?
Yeah, we see.
Welcome back. Okay. Welcome back.
I'm supposed to be eating right now. She's my everything, literally. Even I know I was supposed to be in the sanctity of marriage, but my mother is still supreme to me, and that'll never change until, she's transitioned. But she's everything. For 42 years, I still lean on her. As we get older, we become tighter. We become like best friends. We still play Scrabble. We still, I don't know. She's just dope. I don't want to this can be a long story. So I'm but my mom's dope. She means everything to me. I hope that answers your question.
No, that's fine. If you want to go in depth, please, by all means.
Well, I am a single child. When I say single, I do mean single. I was the first for everyone. Yes. First grandchild, first nephew. I was the first, and I have a cousin who's 8 years younger than I. So when I say I grew up for a strong, we're talking about the primary part of my childhood. I was always alone. So keep that in mind. But again, my mom was everything. I still remember literally from like the age of 2 or 3, her put me on the little conveyor belts at the Giant and let me ride the conveyor belt, and I just have some dope memories of her. I can go on and on. We
feel stories. Your emotion. We definitely
right. We feel like he's like, I'm not gonna cry.
Yeah, we feel
I'm trying not to, but when the reason I am who I am is because of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gets under my skin when I hear people say, it takes a man to raise another man, because that's not true. You know what I'm saying?
Don't cry.
Don't cry. Right. Please. So let me ask you this then to the fellas. how do you think your relationship with your mother has influenced or informed your relationships with the women that you deal with? I know Mims is sick. Last I knew Mims was single. He ain't married. Because if he was married and I didn't go to the wedding, he wouldn't be here. We'd have a whole problem. We would have a whole problem. So I know that he's not married. So he's single. Okay. By the IRS standards, he's single. And so, Aaron, I know you're married. So yes. How has, your relationship with your mother informed or influenced your relationship, whether with your wife or in dating?
That's interesting. I can't say, I guess it's, society would have it, most men, whatever they find in their wife, they can find those same attributes in their mother. I guess, I don't know. Not necessarily in my case. I can't say she's had any influence. If anything, she's just given me an example of what a strong woman looks like. So I guess with that definition, I strive to find strong women, people. So I guess, she's had that influence, but as far as like the fabric of my relationships, because I'm a little unorthodox when it comes to particular things, I can't say she's had any influence in my relationships or my marriage.
Okay, that's interesting for someone to be as close as they are to their mother, for not to translate over into relationships. It's not something you commonly hear.
Listen, that's a whole nother fucking podcast. No, I guess it's supposed to be that way. I just like who I like. And if I vibe with you, I vibe with you. And I just roll with that wave. That's just what it is. Yeah, I can't. I told you that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole nother wine for another.
Yeah, you might need something a little deeper than wine on that one.
Oh, wait a minute.
You might have to pour some Hennessy.
Well, I have to switch it to
cocktails.
Yeah.
And so you, Aaron.
So it's kind of just like Aaron in a sense. It's like it's not. My relationship with my mother hasn't truly defined the woman that I gravitate towards or that I find interest in. I mean, there are certain characteristics that she does possess, and so it's like I do look for those in the women I do date. But all in all, it doesn't really dictate for the most part, who I do, who I do engage with or choose to be with. Some of the characteristics that she does possess, as far as just being just strong. Willing to test the waters and really try to, push forward and try to,
elevate.
Yeah, very, very much. And so it's like, I don't like to be stagnant in life in general. So with my women, I wouldn't want them to be stagnant, being comfortable in one particular place. She was just always a go-getter. Okay, I got this job. I want this type of job too, but because I know we need this, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to do this also. And so like those type of characteristics, like, I want to make sure my family always has, even though we're well off, but we'll make sure we're good. That's certain things I look into the woman that I have now also. It's just like, are you that, that go-getter? Are you willing to elevate and elevate to that next level, want more of yourself? So that's one thing that I do take away from my relationship with my mother. I've seen her have with my father as far as that goes. And it's like, yeah, I want a woman that's definitely, motivated to want more and do more for themselves. And then, of course, the loving aspect of it. Now, mother is always going to love their child and love them, how they show love to their partner. So, I watched it at a rough point at one point in life, and they actually kind of smoothed out. And so it's like watching that transition. And so once again, it's like, hey, I want that love aspect for my woman, and to embrace like me or our child or whatever have you, and those are the type of qualities that I like. But like I said, as far as her really dictating the type of woman that I date now, it's not too influential. But like I said, there's a few qualities that I do appreciate that she does possess, and that's what I do look for while, looking for the things I do like in a woman.
Okay. Like I said, most of the time you hear guys go, yeah, I want somebody just like my mama. She got cook like my mama. She got clean like my mama. She got tape, prime example, when I watched for the first time, Think Like a Man, and I heard her man say, yeah, I washed you with your dirty socks. I was like, whoa. Even as a mother, I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. Because I taught you at a very young age how to. So why am I washing your socks and you're a grown man? I think the term and mama's boy has a very, very negative connotation behind it. So what are some, let's say this, what are some positive effects that having that wonderful relationship with your mother has brought you later in life, like as an adult, or maybe something that you didn't like as a child, but when you became an adult, you recognize my mama, she really did love me. She was just looking out. Like, tell us about how did that translate as you got older and things like that.
I'll take this one. My mother was hard and you leave it out hard, but her hardness, her just being really strong-willed in mind is what definitely, got me to where I'm at right now. My mindset and how I do move and how I handle certain things. It's like, far as like spelling tests, you got your spelling test at the end of the week on Friday, and her thing was, we were on drill throughout the whole week, especially the night before. So on Thursday night, well, you better spell all these words right, and then if you don't, you got 20 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, 20 jumping jacks, whatever. It was all some type of consequence behind whatever. And it was like, and you slip up if you want to, we'll be working out all night. So that was, but, looking at those type of things, or her just wrestling around with me, tall, little wrestling matches and stuff like that, where she go ahead and toss me to we had this purple bag, she was flinging me around and all that. It was like, she was like, bro, but I want my boy to be a boy. Be a man that's able to defend himself, be a man that's actually able to, want more no matter what. Like I said before, it's like she worked a couple of jobs, not like she even needed to. I also want to do that. It's just like, that's the type of example that she set. It's like, good is never good enough. There's always so much more. You don't ever get settled into that comfortability of just being cool with what you got. Always want more. And so that's what all I ever do. It's like, I always go hard wherever, as far as work, or I go far hard as my relationships. I go far as hard as this year. I competed on this past Saturday in the karate tournament. First place. I will pull out the other one, but yeah, 2 first place trophies and $300 prize. But it was like, be a fighter, be dedicated to what your craft is. Never let, anybody waver your mood or your opinion or anything like that. But whatever you want to do, you're able to do it. But like I said, she was always hard, no matter what. But it's like, you said, why are you so on me like this? Like, ease up, why? But now it's like, I love her for that, because that's all that made me the man I am now. And I'm so appreciative of all that hard work and those conversations, the down talk from time to time. But I was not the one who took the down talk and damn, man, you don't love me at all. I remember the one day I missed my bus, and she was like, "Oh, you keep missing your bus, you gonna be nothing but a trash man." And you look at your grades now. You ain't gonna be nothing. And I was like, well, you know, a trash man makes more than you make right now. But anyway, but it was like, yeah, okay, I ain't gonna be nothing. I'm gonna be nothing but a trash man. All right, cool. And so then the grades bumped up, and then I worked hard, and I was like, yeah, look at me, I'm on time. Wow, I'm on time. I'm prompt. Wow, I'm making so much more effort, or I had so much more growth in these different areas where I slacked off before. And it was like, hey, I know that's how I have to be with you to pull that monster out for you to be that person that I know you potentially can be. So I'm gonna be hard. So that was the relationship with my mom as far as her developing and making me a particular type of way. Did I always agree with it? No. Did I like the cursings out? No. Did I like the whoopings? No. But all that formed, and I was like, I'm just so appreciative of it because, like I said, it shows in everything I do, every aspect in life that I have now. So I appreciate that hardness.
Yeah, as hard mothers are. Yeah. But for real, we hard, but we punks on the inside, like in real life.
The first time I met Cody's mom, I was scared. She came out of nowhere. 8th grade graduation. She came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
I thought she was a family member. Let me tell you, first time I met Cody's mom was our 8th grade graduation. Now, for history, Cody and I were going out 8th grade, right? So I can't say they were childish, but we were all children. So whenever I got an award or whenever he got an award, they always scream the other person's name. Now, I was extremely smart and gifted, so I got a lot of awards. So when I would go up, I got the Spanish award, I got a math award, and like some other award. So every time I would get up, go Cody, M&M's, yeah, and like it was loud, right? So graduation was over, and I'm walking toward my parents, and here goes his mother. I don't know who this woman is. I don't know this woman from anybody. She comes up to me. She's like, hello, Siobhan. Hi. She was like, congratulations. Thank you. I'm Cody's mom. Oh. Hi. Like going on. Yeah. I don't really know what to do here now. So let me tell you that I love Cody's pop.
Yeah,
and I wasn't there for none of the hardships. She wasn't my mother, so I didn't have to deal with none of that.
Yeah, she still to this day loves you to death. She just asked about you yesterday. So, how's Siobhan doing? Yeah, she's well. She's good.
Yeah. Look, that's a great thing. All the mamas hated me, dude. All the mamas hated me. Yeah. I don't know why. I think I had. Relationship wise, I think I had one mother that was in love with me, but all the rest of them jokers was like
yeah. Okay. And that's the same. It was the same way. Like it no matter who I dated after Siobhan, it was always you can't get somebody like Siobhan. Like what's Siobhan doing? Who's she saying? Oh man, like she's good. She's good right now. We're good. It's good. That's my bestie.
Well, Eric, have you had that experience with your mom, like in the dating and the positive? Like, tell us, talk to us.
No, I have. My mom was very. She was like a little drill sergeant. So, like, my room was always open to inspection, and I had to keep the door open. She found like all my little treats, and I used to like hustle like my allowance so I can get pizza and shit on the weekends, and so I couldn't throw the box in the trash because it give my position away. You know what I'm saying? Like she don't know.
Right.
So I would keep I had like boxes of Domino pizza boxes under my bed, and oh, she was pissed. But man, I got stories for days. But no, I didn't really understand why she didn't give me a lot of leeway that my peers were getting. Like it was very strict. My mom is from the South, like deep South. So I had those deep South
roots,
values.
Yeah, like, be home before the street lights come on. Like that was my mom, like for real. You know, you got to be in bed at 9 o'clock. Oh man, I mean,
look at his face.
He haven't relaxed.
I got so many stories. I have so many stories. She's thrown me out the house. I remember when she attempted to smack me for the last time. I remember how that went down. I just have so many memories with that woman. But because of her sacrifices, you know, trying to surround me with older, influential Black men, because of my father being absent, still to this day, I still gravitate towards influential Black men. And so I'm always trying to grasp wisdom. I'm always trying to grasp knowledge in any facet of life. And because of her and her sacrifices, you know what I'm saying? Like I will sit and talk to somebody that's elder in a heartbeat and love it. She just given me so much. And now that I have my own son, I talk to my son the same way my mom used to talk to me. You know, when you graduate, you got a couple of options. You got work, college, military. I didn't think I was all that smart, so I chose the military. Apparently, my son didn't feel like he was all that smart either because he chose the military as well.
Or he just followed in his daddy's footsteps.
He sure did. He sure did. But, you know, like I respected her enough to where, like, there was nothing I could ever do on the streets. It wasn't the police. It wasn't whoever was, you know, pumping drugs at the time. No one scared me more than my mother. And to this day, you know, like if there's someone asks me, like, what are some of my fears? One of my fears is disappointing my mom, you know, and she just the shit to me. Like I can't even put that joint in the words, but like I'm sorry, I'm not cut. Oh, I am so sorry. She is everything to me. I don't want to cut.
No. It's fine. You're fine.
Okay. No, she's everything to me. I just saw the sacrifices, Boy Scouts, track and field. You know, she couldn't make it to some of these events. So, you know, I had to rely on Metro to get me to and from. So I guess, you know, because of her, I learned how to ride the public transit system very well. But I had to grow up fast because it was just me. And so, you know, she had to work. So, you know, she trusted me to stay home by myself at like 6. I don't know if that was cool at the time, but it was what it was. I had to grow up fast. I had to grow up fast. And like I said, I had to be very mature and conduct myself in a particular manner because if that shit ever got back to my mom, it would crush her, and seeing her crush would ultimately crush me. So the fear of me disappointing her, I guess, has led me to where I am today. I just find myself doing whatever I can just to keep her proud. You know what I'm saying? Like I always want to keep a smile on her face. I always want to keep her in awe of something that I'm doing. So me going to college, eventually super late in my life, me doing sports, whatever the case may be, like I always want to just keep her smiling. And so she keeps me, her and my son keep me moving for sure. I can go on and on. I swear to God.
Well, no. It's fine. It's kind of endearing to hear, you know, just a male, like, genuinely just, you know, emotional. Because, you know, men sometimes put on that, I'm hard out here.
Yeah, but, you know,
so for you to relax that, to see it naturally happening.
Honestly, from when we met, you and I, to this day, like I just feel like I finally found my space mentally. like I found my center. So, certain things that used to irritate me, bug me, I don't even give it any energy. So me being my true self allows me to be true to others. And so I have I don't give a shit. I'll cry about my son. I will cry about my mother at the drop of a hat. And dare somebody say something about it, And I think that's one of the problems. Like, everybody want to be so tough. Everybody want to be something that they may not necessarily be. And I think people are kind of living in a falsehood. But for me, like, I just found my peace. And so me being able to talk about my mother so openly and so passionately, that's how I feel. Like, as before we started talking, we were talking about, the Colin Kaepernick and the flag thing. That's genuinely how I feel. Like, I just find myself at this point, I don't like talking for the sake of talking. If I know, I know. If I don't, I lay back and try to find out what it is. And so, I'm an expert at this topic because I love my mother to death.
And I think that's important. I mean, I think that's something that we hear a lot of men say, but there seems to always be that wall emotionally when men talk about their mothers. In a lot of ways, I feel like people say it from a place of like expectation, like you're supposed to love your mother. And I think it's courageous for you to say, I'm a mama's boy from my heart, and I will cry over my mother and I don't care about it. And I also think it's courageous for, Mims, as I call him, to say, me and my mother aren't that close. Because I also think, and this is, I'm gonna put me in here for a second, because I went through something this weekend. Michelle knows what I went through this weekend. With a mother over her kid. That's a whole one for a whole nother time, Jesus.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will whine another time about bonus babies, step mommies,
deadbeat mamas. Sorry, I'm calling
deadbeat daddies, and some more stuff. Okay.
But I say that because I feel like I just bring that up because I feel like, again, with everything that happened this weekend and hearing, Aaron say that he's a mama boy and proud, and you should be, because from what it sounds like, and we haven't gotten all the stories, we don't have time for all the stories.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can tell from the way that you talk about your mother that whatever has happened with you and her, whether she kicked you out the house or not, there's a love, there's an honor, there's a cherish, there's a loyalty, there's a respect there that she has earned. And that's a big thing. And from Mem's side, even if you were very close and things go apart because of whatever reason that things in life go apart, that's okay. Mm-hmm. I feel like we as a society constantly tell people, you have to love your mother at all costs, even if she has not earned that love. And I'm not saying that Mem's mother hasn't. I love his mother, so I'm never gonna say that about her. But I feel
like you doing push-ups.
Listen, can't do them right now.
Look, I just had mine doing wall sits the other day, like legit wall sits. That's why I was like, I know about being I know for a fact my children are going to be like my mom, Mommy Michelle, step mommy, bonus mommy, whatever they call me, was an asshole. But she loved us. And I tell them now, like, you're not going to realize what I'm doing until you have children of your own. And I know I'm going to get those phone calls with, Mom, okay, you was right. I was tripping. Well, let me tell you what your grandchild did, and I'm going to have to go. Right. Well, remember when you X, Y, and Z, and this is that and the other? And I think that's something else mothers are good for, reflection. It's like, hey, that was you. Now you know how I felt.
Or even if you don't have kids.
Thing. So I definitely feel I'm one of the hard mamas. Like, I'm one of those, no, we not gonna have this. You can be soft later. I feel like there's a time and a place for that. But like we spoke about in the other episode in reference to raising your daughters, we have to love them as well as raise them. So, it's a lot of stuff.
And even if you never have kids, so I'm gonna say this real quick. Even if you never have kids, even if you never have a kid in your life, and I raise my hand, you still appreciate what your parents did or what the parental influences did for you. I would say as a woman, I love my mother and I get it. And I'm not a mom. And even before being a mother figure to kids that I'm around, you just get to the point as an adult where you go, like Arian said earlier, I get it now. Like Aaron said earlier, you put me through all of this, but it's made me the man that I am. It's made me the person that I am. And I think that appreciation comes with age, whether you have kids or you don't. You learn to appreciate it through life.
I also feel like, with age should come, maturation. And, even when I used to tell people all the time, the bulk of my son's life was in Texas and he had a stepfather. And so everyone used to ask, how's that? And people would be surprised because I had the greatest relationship with him. He had nothing to do with anything. And if any man is willing to raise my son as their own, I have to respect that. And, I say that to say that came with maturity. And a lot of men don't really have it. That goes back to my mom. Because I'm older, I see things totally different now, and I feel like, if I'm getting older, then that means my mother's getting older. That means my aunt and uncle are getting older. And so I just cherish relationships a lot more. But I don't know if I would recognize those things if it weren't for my mom. You know what I'm saying? Because I see her in a particular light. I kind of view people in a particular light. So it goes with that saying, treat others the way you want someone to treat your mother. I carry that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I legit carry that. So it's no skin off my back if I call someone sir, ma'am, hello, ma'am, whatever the case may be, and they don't speak back. It does nothing to me. Hey, I'll eat that. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna fuck up your day more than it's gonna fuck up mine. I'm just speaking just cause. But I carry that, so regardless of who you are, I try to treat everyone with respect because that's how I want people to treat my mother.
Got it. That's actually a good principle. I think, so let me ask you this. Do you think the society that we live in now is cherishing, especially, you have the independent woman movement, the feminist movement, and all of that. And personally, I have my own feelings on that. But do you feel that in that movement, the sense of true motherhood is being lost, or do you feel like it's actually being strengthened?
Michelle, listen, you talking my language now. Listen,
you're right.
We can. I'm dead ass, man. I'm probably whatever y'all podcast topics are. I'm pretty sure I can touch on all of them. Yeah, it's lost, but
absolutely.
So society. You know what I'm saying? Society's lost. So anything dealing with life as a whole is lost. I just gotta, and it's no knock, and I'm not saying this in a malicious way because I know I have two beautiful females on this podcast. Me expecting my great grandmother out of a woman of today is ghosts.
Ghosts.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
So my expectations for people are real minimal because I won't allow you to disappoint me in any way because I understand you're human. And I'm not saying that in a derogatory way. I just feel like you're going to disappoint me, whether it's intentional or not. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll never live up to my expectation. You know what I'm saying? So I just see things for what it is. And we as a society, we're lost, man. I mean, we got all type of crazy shit going on. I'm still wearing a fucking mask.
How you really feel, though?
It's crazy. So I can go watch a football game. I can literally go watch a football game with no mask, but I can't go to the grocery store and get a loaf of bread.
Right.
Nothing makes sense anymore.
Right. But like,
you go ahead, sir. Go ahead, man.
Because no, I feel you. And as I answered, I was like, absolutely, that way is lost. And I had to sit back and really think. I had to, let me change that process of thinking. Has the form of, that type of mother that we've grown up with changed? Absolutely it has. But who's to say that actually is for the better, for the best or for the worse? Like I grew up with that. I grew up kind of an old school setting, of course, like I had my mom there, and then so within that, within my household, she was calling more shots than my father was. But then when it came down to my grandparents, then that's where I kind of had the ideal relationship, how things should be ran in that aspect. Like I remember my grandmother would come home, or my grandfather would come home. Before he came home, she already done had the house clean. She already done put on her favorite perfume that she knows that he likes. So those certain aspects of like in traditions of how the older generation or our generation before us used to be, that's completely different. I ain't gonna say it's lost. I was just say it's just different.
I would like to piggyback off of that and ask a question to you. You strike me as and I'm dead ass serious, you're very articulate and I fucking love it. And I love the fact that you think outside the box. Do you think Black media, I'm talking about the BETs.
I answer your question right now. Absolutely. It does transform that mindset. Please, how they act and how they're.
Please understand, I love a Black woman's derriere as much as any Black man in the world does. But when it becomes sensationalized, right? I guess if I'm just cutting to the chase. I think, and maybe Siobhan and Michelle, you can speak on this. I feel like femininity is lost.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, there you have it.
I'm sorry. I absolutely agree. I completely agree. I feel like most feminists don't know what it's actually like to be feminine. So how can you be a feminist if you can't even understand the base word of what you're trying to be or represent? I absolutely do. I feel like they are so quick to say I'm a feminist, but when you break down that word to feminine and what femininity actually is, they go, oh no, I'm not doing that. That's from the old days. That's traditional. But you said you was, but so what you trying to, like, what you saying? Like,
well, even on top of that, with the loss of femininity, and this is my personal opinion, with the loss of femininity, how can one instruct one to be a mother, or how to conduct themselves as a lady, or how to conduct themselves? Because I'm telling you, we're talking when we talk class. I'm talking about class, right? I'm talking about being dainty, being elegant. Those words for my generation included, are gone. Like it's gone. I'm talking about your Felicia Rashads, your just the women of our past generation. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Lena Horne's, Patti LaBelle's, the women that we grew up viewing as being quote unquote divas, because they had class, they had elegance, they had oomph.
They were tenacious.
Yeah, like I can't use any of those words for my generation, and definitely not for the generations after us.
But I feel like you were speaking to, I feel like the BETs, the VH1s, they have stripped the Black woman,
our foundation.
From those things. So, like, my thing is, my son, Malachi, when I was the smallest thing I could ever be, would call me Big Mama. When you hear the word in our generation, when we heard the words Big Mama, we didn't necessarily think he was talking about, oh, you're fat shaming. No. Right. Big Mama was a level of respect. It was what she says goes. I don't care what's going on. It was a level. It was a higher, like
it was a hierarchy.
Like, that's Big Mama. Big Mama said no. Then ain't nobody doing nothing. We don't care how nobody feels. That was it. So when he called me that, for me, I was like, what you trying to say at first? But then I thought about it. I was like, no, that's actually a badge of honor. To the point where I told my husband, when all these kids start having kids, I'm not grandma, I'm Big Mama. I don't care what size I am. I'm Big Mama, because it was, you know, that elder that you look to say, to be the hard person, to be the soft person, to be that foundation. To me, Big Mama was foundation. So to have that foundation in place, that rock in place, to me, that's what that meant. And honestly, I do feel that as a mother speaking, it's not the same. Now, it's not the same. It's not there.
We don't have any more Big Mamas.
People out here trying to be the Mama D's.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just saying it. And I love Mama D, as crazy as she is. But you have too many of them trying to be the Mama D's instead of the Big Mamas.
Right. I think Chris Rock probably said it best in one of his stand-ups. He was like, the moment where Mama becomes Pam and Grandma becomes Mom, there lies your issue.
Well, I'm gonna say. I'll say this. Oh boy. Number one, God, because you know I'll never think like nobody else. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. Number one, as far as Big Mama, let me say that the funniest part is when I hear Big Mama, my mental goes honestly to somebody like my height, and I'm 5'3", y'all. It's Big Mama to me in my mind is not tall. She not even necessarily big. She like short, but she runs. You know what I mean? She runs.
The boss. Yeah.
Like, and I laugh at it because I guess a lot of the mamas I know, and we had this conversation during Raising Daughters. Not the my broke best friend. Not the mommies. Not I can't say the mommies. Not the mas or whatever or the them. But the true moms and mamas that I know are all like my height. They are the big mamas. And they are very much, I ain't going for that. And I don't know if we short people have Napoleon complexes where we have, we do, where we just gotta be harder because you gotta hear me, man. And
you're not gonna run over me. I know you see me here.
I laugh because, like, for example, it's funny because my mother and I had this conversation, right? My grandmother, who was my heart, was 5'7". That might sound tall, right? But my uncle was like 6'2". And I remember I said to my mother one time, because all the dudes, and Cody can attest to this, all the dudes I usually dated were like 6'3", right? I'm 5'3". So I was always like, yo, if I ever have a kid, like, I said to my mother, how do I discipline him if he's a boy? Because by the time he's like 12, he's going to be towering over me because like I'm 5'3". She said to me, like, well, your grandmother did it. She was like, your grandmother, when your uncle got into high school, he was a freshman. He was towering over her. And I remember her telling, come down here so I can smack you. And he would, because my grandmother was a big mama. She just, I mean, that was my nanny because I loved her. So it was different because I was the baby's baby. So I was a favorite. It's fine. But I think I would say that to the big mamas. As far as has femininity been lost? Oh boy. I'm not saying it hasn't. What I will say is this. I think you don't get one, as Aaron said, society as a whole is lost. You don't lose one and then everything else stay the same. It's like Jenga. If you pull enough pieces, eventually it's going to fall. And I say that because I think a lot of people nowadays like to harp on, oh, Black women did this, Black women are doing this, are doing this, are doing this. Fine. But in a lot of ways, unfortunately, Black women are the mother and the father, because where is the father? Mm-hmm. And so you get these women who have to balance somehow femininity and quote unquote masculinity, because especially if you're raising sons, like you both have said, you know, your mother would do quote unquote man shits with you because she knew you were a boy. Michelle got a whole son. I got 3 boys in my house. I've always been around boys. Most of my cousins on my father's side were boys. I grew up a tomboy. I'm going to throw you around. We're going to do this. Does that mean that I can't put on a dress, some heels and be cute? No, but it does mean that there's a duality that I think had to happen that didn't really exist necessarily in previous generations, because you had both. You had that balance. And that's what we had conversations about with Daddy's Girls. Speaking as women who grew up with a father figure around, a lot of girls don't have that. A lot of boys don't have that. And so you got this woman trying to teach her daughter how to be a girl. You got this woman trying to teach her son how to be a man, but she has to be feminine the whole time. And it's very difficult to do. I mean, there was a time when women couldn't even wear pants for real, unless you were going like to the playground. Right. We are now in a generation, 2 generations later, where most of us wear pants all the time. Like whether it's a pantsuit, whether it's jeans, whether it's leggings, jeggings, pick a thing. That's what it is. I mean, we also then in that world, when you want to talk about femininity, have to say, well, where the men? Because I can't be secure in my femininity if I can't trust the man next to me. And I saw something on Instagram that somebody said something to the effect of, it was a meme or something that was like, you remember when they used to say, oh, you can't wear that because it's men in the house. Well, what kind of men you got in your house? But that's true. Like, why is it your daughter can't, or this girl cannot wear whatever? I'm not saying walk around naked, but walk around, wear like shorter shorts or pajama pants shorts around her uncle and her grandfather. Why is that a problem? That should not be a problem.
Yo, that's real talk. And
that should not be a problem. So I will say, I think with that all changing, you have women who have to be more on the defense. That's 2. Number 3, my last point square, because I do things in 3s, is I think value. And it's come to the point where femininity is not valued for what it is. You talking class and all of this words, Aaron, and I love them. But a lot of what has come, and with so much stuff going on in the world, I'm not going to touch on it. I'm just going to say so much stuff going on in the world. A lot of what is feminine is being devalued and shamed and completely moved away. You mean to tell me that, you know what, not going to go that far, but it's being to the point where now women are being broken down to birthing people, or the size of your butt, the size of your breast is what dictates how feminine you are or what a woman is. It's like, oh, well, I can buy femininity from a plastic surgeon.
Which is why they voted a man the most beautiful woman in the world.
But this is the other part of that.
What? Huh?
For what she's saying, that's why with society thinking the way that they're thinking, oh, the size of my boobs or the size of my butt determines how feminine I am, is the reason why Bruce Jenner was voted the most beautiful woman in the world.
A couple years ago.
That's what I thought you said, for real?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was some years ago.
You gotta laugh.
Basically, the year he did it, it was that same year.
Yes, now
Yeah.
taking yourself out of the, excuse my language, bullshit.
Mhm.
You laugh at it.
Mm.
But when you're in it as a woman,
Right.
as a quote unquote natural born woman, that's insulting.
I can't.
Gotta be. But then it's like I said, it's so
completely
embraced, it's so dictated by everybody else.
But honestly, but that's that shit is hilarious to me. You got to find the humor in it. You have to, because if you're not laughing, then you're crying. And if you're crying, that means you're probably not living. And I refuse to fall into this media tornado. And trust me, I definitely respect everything that you just said, because as a woman that I assume, bleed once a month and all that stuff, yeah, I would be insulted as well. But you also got to look at, this is the world we live in now.
Exactly.
That shit from years ago, that shit is dead. You know what I'm saying? And then we have to accept some of these things, and unfortunately, I'm speaking on the mask. I have to accept this. This is the way of life now. I have to find a mask to go with my outfits.
But as a woman, and especially as a Black woman, what was the most bothersome about the Bruce Caitlyn Jenner situation was that, but here you had this man who isn't even really a tranny. He just is a crossdresser, quite frankly. He didn't even get all the surgery done. He's just really a crossdresser. Is called the most beautiful woman. And again, this was like 7 years ago or something. But 2 years before that, or however long before that, there was a question about whether or not Venus and Serena Williams were even real women. Like, that's the insult of what my issue was with that whole situation. You had people still, up until Serena gave birth, were like, is she really a woman? Is she really a woman? She basically had to get pregnant to say, I am a woman. People, are you serious? And I mean, I'm not saying that she had her child to prove her womanhood or her femininity or whatever, like, no. But it's to the point where that's the unfortunate of being, since we Black on this thing, a Black woman is, if you look like Venus and Serena and you're extremely muscular because of what you do, are you really a woman? But you put a white dude in some drag and he's, oh my God, he's such the most beautiful woman. And for anybody who's trying to come at me, I go to drag shows, sweetie. I was a dancer my whole life. If I really had an issue with LGBTQ, I was completely in the wrong profession for over 10 years.
Look,
play with me, completely. Don't at me, don't. I have no problem with homosexuals. I had a whole gay husband from high school to college. Please don't at me. I got time if you want to play that game. But I'm not going to sit here and say that society isn't janky and jacked up either. Like, let's acknowledge that elephant in the room. And that's what I'm saying, is the double standards and the hypocrisy.
Well, I mean, we can go on and on about this. I mean, I think for me, the slap in my face, if you guys recall the whole Janet Jackson, Justin Timberlake thing, they made a big deal out of her exposing her breasts. Trigger for me. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. You can continue. But Janet Jackson, the way people feel about Michael is how I feel about Janet.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, I'm with you. So they had that whole fiasco, and everyone made a huge deal out of that, but no one talked about the fact that the show that followed up the Super Bowl engaged in two men kissing. That wasn't an issue. But Janet Jackson's breast was an issue. It's easy for me to explain what happened during the Super Bowl halftime to my son than it is for me to explain why these two men are kissing on TV. That's when I'm like, yo. I think that was for me, that was the swing of the pendulum for me. Mm-hmm. And honestly, it's just gotten worse. And so at this point, like, nothing phases me anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, really, the whole, and I'm not trying to get off topics. I know this is about mothers and everything, but I told you I can talk about whatever. But I think this is also a sign of why our society is lost, because if femininity is lost, that means motherhood's lost. That means we don't have stable foundation, because our women aren't necessarily women anymore. And in agreement to you, Siobhan, we're not doing any better doing dumbass shit on the street or just making dumbass decisions that lands us in jail. So both parties have to be accountable for what's going on in today's society. But, you know, I definitely promote, stop giving a fuck. It's done wonders for me. I don't care. Like, the world is just fucked up. You cannot escape it. Only thing I suggest all three of you guys to do is stop giving a shit. And I swear to you.
Already on top of it.
Yeah.
Already on top of it.
You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you start caring, man, it's like that shit affects you. And life is too short. You know what I'm saying? And like, I literally have a tattoo on my thigh. Man talks about killing time, but it's time actually killing man. I'm not gonna live in no one's fucking bubble and be in fear and all this other I'm gonna do what I wanna do when I wanna do it. I just so happen I love being at home. This is my sanctuary, this is my peace. But if I wanna go out and do whatever, I can do it at my own leisure. It's not because you're gonna fucking scare me to death into doing anything. And I think all this shit is like scare tactics, and it's just stop caring. Man.
Well, I mean, and that was, and all right. I mean,
and that was that. So before we wrap this up, I know you
took y'all whole show.
I mean, but it was good though.
So it was great. No.
Hey,
look, before we wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, to our guests, take about 30 seconds and say something to your mommy.
Let me go first.
Go ahead.
You got 30 seconds though. Would you ready to start the time?
No. I just want you to know, I'm sure you're going to probably...
You look like a puppy. Can I go? Can I go?
I know you're probably going to see this because I know you follow Michelle. I just want to let you know that I love you so, so much. And I thank you for everything that you've given me. And I hope I can return that in the best way that I possibly can. I'm done. It's 15 seconds.
Perfect. In the case of my mother, just awesome. No matter what we go through or we might experience, it's always love and it's always care. Like I said, we still talk. You know, it's not as much as we like to, but like the times where I feel like, yeah, we've grown apart, and it's for a reason. Even within all that, you still put me in the right direction where I'm able to still find those answers and get me to that next point in life. So all experiences as a child to this point, and like I said, even like yesterday having the phone call, like I just want you to know this, I love you regardless. It's always love. I just appreciate every last thing you did to me from the hustle and bustle for trying to get gifts for Christmas, making sure that, you know, we had school clothes, making sure there was food on the table, you know, just always setting the example. You know, everything that you've done in life, I appreciate that. And I continue to appreciate that because even now I look at these kids now, especially my son, I'm like, I have to pick up the phone, I have to call mom. I'm like, I understand. Because I understand exactly why you said what you said then, because I'm saying it now. And now after I'm saying, I'm like, oh, goddamn, I sound just like mom. And I appreciate you. So definitely appreciate everything you've done for me in life. So
all right.
Love to you.
And cheers to that. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank our lovely guests for coming on the show and just bragging and sharing their mommy stories and their thoughts about their mother. We hope that you enjoyed the show. Before we go, of course, Siobhan, give us your wine rating or your Prosecco.
So real quick, back of the bottle. I'm trying to get to this. So this was made in northeastern Italy. The wine has a refreshing acidity and a touch of sweetness from the ripe fruit. You may smell scents of pear, green apples, and citrus. Okay, yeah. In the mouth, the light effervescence provides a vibrant, racy texture. It's a sparkling wine we make for your family, friends, and in honor of the man I call Dad. Y'all are fathers, so this must be Josh must be named after his father. So, yeah, Josh Carr, founder and son. Oh, that's sweet, honey. You know what? I really like this Prosecco. And I'm really not a sparkling person. Like I usually have to do like the whole mimosa situation because we got to bring the bubbles down. But this actually was really, really good. I very much appreciate it. I think it was very apropos to the topic of mothers and everything else that happened. It is light and bubbly. I would say this is very much a celebration wine. If you're looking for something for New Year's or if you want to pop something for Halloween that's coming up, I would recommend this. You can probably do a nice little like cotton candy drink with this because I feel like you can put some sweetness in this and this will be like a fun little holiday celebration thing. So I definitely enjoyed it. It made me feel all types of bubbles in my femininity, my femininity.
I told you about that neck, Beyonce.
My femininity.
That neck ain't going nowhere. This neck been there for years.
No, my hand's been here. Anyway, so this I really did like, and I will give it a 4. It was really good.
Wow. Y'all don't understand. That is a very, very high rating. We go from 5 to 0.5.
Yeah.
And Siobhan is definitely a hard person to please.
I mean, most stuff is like a 3 to me. It's just, sorry, it's there. But this was a 4. This was good.
So for that to get a 4, good job, Prosecco. You might want to stay along the Prosecco month, because the rats didn't do you good last month, So for my Menage a Trois Chardonnay, yeah, I'm not reading.
Who's laughing? Somebody laugh, man.
Is there something about vanilla and the something else? I don't know. This Chardonnay to me was a little bit on the sweeter side of the Chardonnays. It wasn't as stiff as I've had them before. It was not a bad Chardonnay. To me, this would be a good entry level Chardonnay. So if you're looking to try a Chardonnay, but you're not really sure because you heard, they're so dry, this. Yes, it is dry, but this does have a little bit of sweetness to it. So if you want to try one for the first time and you're used to something a little bit more sweet, like a Riesling, then I would say try this Chardonnay. This may be something that you would go, okay, I could possibly deal with versus going to something extremely dry. And for that purpose alone, because again, it was clean, it was crisp. This was slightly chilled. I kind of do a room temperature with Chardonnay. The more you let it aerate, it decants. It does. It heightens the taste. So this one here was a little chilled slightly, which was great. Again, it was nice. I enjoyed it. Not the best Chardonnay that I've ever had. I can't remember the name of that one, but I guarantee you if I find it, I'm bringing it one here. So overall, I will have to give this a 3.5. We can't do 3.75, so a 3.5 it is. I can't bump you to a 4 because you weren't that good. But definitely a 3.5. Great entry level Chardonnay, and that's my rating for Menage a Trois. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Hey, let us know. Be sure you subscribe to the channel. Follow us on YouTube and on Instagram at a little something, the number 2, Wine About. Again, that's a little something, the number 2, Wine About. Catch us each and every Wednesday for a new episode. Let us know. Are you a mama's boy? Have you dated a mama's boy? How much do you love your mother? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, as always,
there's nothing wrong with a little wine.